My good people, my good people. Hello, world. I'd like to welcome y'all back. No, we can't do it the regular way. It's a special edition. We just had news that just broke the airwaves. But I want to introduce y'all to somebody very special before we get into this. This right here is my brother, a very special guy I met through this podcasting game. We were co-workers, we were cohorts, and now I consider this boy my friend, my brother. I'd like to introduce y'all to the legendary, the GOAT, the host of Skytown, the host of Mike on the Mic. I want to introduce y'all to the guy that's responsible for getting us the IQ interview. That's between me and y'all. Introduce y'all to my brother Mike Hughes. Mike, what happening, baby?
Yo, baby!
Go, baby.
What's happening, man? What's happening?
Hey,
This
how
is
you feeling, my
Wednesday,
brother?
man. Is another iconic day in the Mike Hughes household. It seems like every time I shave my beard, crazy
Ah,
things happen. Crazy
ah.
things happen.
Crazy things happen. Are you not talking about this? Oh,
Woo!
Jesus, I know you ain't talking about this. This
Man,
just happened, ladies and gentlemen. Damian Lillard, known to us as Dame Dolla, is rightfully now playing with the Bucks. It's Dame time in Milwaukee. Mike, talk about it.
man.
Talk about it.
I'm in a glass case of emotions, Rob. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm depressed. I'm excited. I couldn't be happier for Dame, but on the other side, I'm a huge Jimmy Buckets fan, and it's I said damn, damn, can't have nothing nice. Can't have
Hey, you
nothing
say we
nice.
can't have nothing. Like, hey,
Can't
hold
have
on.
nothing.
All right, let's look at this trade, y'all, because you can hear me talk about it, but it's better if you see it. Let's look at this trade. So the Milwaukee Bucks, of course, get Dame Dollar. This was a three-team trade that happened to make this process happen. The Trailblazers now receive Drew Holiday,
Mhm.
DeAndre Ayton, some jabroni named Tamani Kamal. I'm just playing. I'm just playing Tamani. I'm just joking with you. They receive a 2029 unprotected first round pick from Milwaukee, and then an unprotected Milwaukee swaps right in 2028 and 2030. And now this has huge implications for the Phoenix Suns, who, as we know, made the first blockbuster announcement, bringing together the new big three known as Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. And now they receive Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Mike, I want to talk about this because now it's implications. I'm not really worried about what the Trailblazers are going to get. We're going to dive
Right.
into them a little bit just because they have a particular player who might once again get back on free agency, but we're going to get to all that. But let's talk about what Damian Lillard to the Bucks mean. Damian Lillard now going to finally play with another all-star caliber, a superstar talent, as you will, in the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. Mike, talk about it.
Man, I mean, I think it's going to be huge for them. I think it's going to be a very different version of the Milwaukee Bucks than we're typically used to seeing. Um, I want I want no disrespect on the name of Shoe Holiday from any NBA fan or any casual NBA fan that doesn't know ball. Um, Giannis Antetokounmpo does not make the finals. Giannis Antetokounmpo does not get out of the East or be deemed a champion without True Holiday. So first and foremost, I got to give my flowers to my guy True. It's really unfortunate he was a part of this deal. When I heard the news, I was praying. I was on my knees praying that Chris Middleton was the one that was getting moved. Just because a backcourt of True Holiday and Damian Lillard would have been disgusting, and pair that up with Giannis, and you got something crazy. But obviously, that's not going to come into fruition. But you're going to see a very different Milwaukee Bucks team, I think, this year. They're going to be very offensive driven. Obviously, you still got, Bobby Portis out there, Giannis playing defense. They're going to do great things. But Dame kind of being that over the top offensive player that he can be. Where True Holiday, I love True. True can give you 15 to 25 points every now and again. But Dame consistently is going to give you 25 plus every single night. And that's really something that I feel like with what we've seen recently, they're going to have to do. Because this old way of thinking, like, hey, listen, we saw what Miami did.
Yeah.
Gritty defense, get after it, get buckets and big time plays. Big time players make big time plays, and you can get to the finals. But once you get there, man, you got a three-headed monster up there. You got the Splash Bros up there. You got Jokic. You got all the Suns, who we're going to talk about a little later, and being a part of this deal. What that means for
Yeah,
them. There's a lot of high-scoring guys right now. So we're
it
kind of in
is.
this era, Rob. How you feeling about it? I mean, I think right
I,
now the era of defense is still alive,
yeah.
but we're really just stacking up points.
Hey, you know what? Tony posed this question. I want to thank you, Pops, for joining. Are they the favorites now? And I think that question ties into what I'm about to say. And shout out to my boy, my brother John Brown, said he think he's happy with the decision after recently stating he would not report to Cap if he wasn't traded with Miami. So let's
You
talk
lying?
about it.
You
I
lying?
think I think what happened with Damian Lillard, first of all, as we know, right as free agency started, Damian Lillard goes to his team, and rightfully so. He gave the Portland Trail Blazers most of his career span, and he said, "Look, we're not doing anything. I see you guys are getting younger. Right now, I'm at the point in my life where I want to win a ring. I've forgotten the money. He's made over $400 million in his career. He's gotten the money. He wants to know, what happens to my name when I leave the game? Will you remember me for being the great player that I know that I am, or will you only think that I have no rings and I never really competed for a championship in my career?" So Dame goes to the Portland Trailblazers and he asks for a trade. And
Mhm.
now he tells this the Blazers organization, "I don't want to go to anybody but Miami." But I think at the time Dame Lillard is looking across the landscape, he's saying, "Who can I realistically go to? Who do I think they'll realistically make a trade to? And I can still go to this team and be competitive. I see what Jimmy doing with them boys. It's not like I'm asking to go to a juggernaut. I'm just asking to go to a team where I have a chance." And then Miami, unfortunately, they have nobody to trade to Portland that's worth a Damian Lillard. Now you look across the horizon. As Portland, they want to keep their loyalty to Dame because Dame's been loyal to them. So they're going to try to make sure he gets out of there and gets to a team where he can compete. But they want to make sure they get the most bang for their buck. They want to make sure they get something for Dolla. You know what I mean? And now Milwaukee comes out with this trade and say, "Well, we can give you Drew, and we can work out something with Phoenix, and we can get you Hayden, and we can make something happen." And I think Dame is going to be very happy with the decision he made. I understand it's not Miami. I understand it's not being on the beaches, on Miami Beach, and seeing these beautiful women and enjoying yourself with all the nightclubs and Miami Soho. I understand that.
Right.
But also at the same time, you're going to Milwaukee. You're going to be playing with a person who won a championship before, a player who does play defense, a player who was the finals MVP, who's been a league MVP, a person who's developed into one of the best, international stars in the game in Giannis Antetokounmpo, and now you have a closer. And I
Right.
understand you lose a lot with Drew Holiday. You lose a defensive stop out there on the wing and on the perimeter. I understand what you lose, but look what you gain.
Right.
You gain a guy that can give you 50. Hell, I was just reading in ESPN that Dame Lillard is one of the few young players to get over 70 points in the game. Hasn't been done since Kobe. So let's talk about who Milwaukee is getting. And remember, before Dame went down with the injury last year, he was averaging over 30 points. He was
Right.
averaging 32 a game in 55 games. That boy came out there with that dog in him. Now put that dog with another dog and let the kennel loose. Oh
100%.
Lord Jesus. Do Milwaukee become the favorites? Pops, you damn right they become the favorites. You damn right. You add Dame Dollar with him, and you was able to keep Bobby Portis. You was able to keep that defensive tenacity, what Brook Lopez can do down there in the paint. And free agency is still open, and you kept Chris Middleton. Now you're able to cover up what Chris Middleton lacks, and you're okay with him giving you 15 to 20 points a game.
Right.
Because I know Dame gonna give me 30. I know Giannis gonna give me 30, and Giannis gonna give me 15 rebounds, and Giannis gonna give me 4 blocks. Oh hell yeah, they the favorites. Damn, Dame. You just changed the landscape of the NBA. But now that begs the question, because Phoenix was involved in this trade and they lost DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
What does that mean for Phoenix?
I think
What does this mean for Phoenix? Let's talk about it, Mike.
I think it's a plus. I really do. DeAndre Ayton didn't seem bought into that system. DeAndre Ayton doesn't really He's not a go-getter. He's not going out there. He's not laying his life on the line, and that's what you want in a big. Like when I see Bobby Portis and he smacks Nico Mirotic in the face at practice because that's just how bad he wants to win. That's a
Yeah.
guy you want on your team. No matter how anybody feels about that, I still rock with Bobby to this day, and I think because Nico lost that fight, he should have got kicked off the team. But with that being said, in all seriousness, you want a center that you can go tick for tack with. You want a center that you know when he's healthy, he's going to be the best version of himself. Now they got Nurkic in this deal, and I think Nurkic is a very serviceable center in this league. The question
Yeah.
is, can he stay healthy? And it's
Yeah.
really always been his question. You know, between him and CJ McCollum and Dame, they just haven't been able to be on the court at the same time. It's kind of like the Clippers, when you have the John Wall, Kawhi, and PG thing. They were just rotating on the IR all week long, or all year long, I should say. But you look at that and you see what they brought, and you see a starting five. I don't know
Yeah.
who's at I don't know who's at their four. Really, I don't care. But
You're gonna have to play KD at the 4
I mean,
because now
it's
you're really asking Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, they're two guys that play the same position.
yeah,
But Devin Booker is tough enough to go to the 3.
100%. I think it's going to be interesting though. You know, between him, between KD, between Book, between Beal, obviously now bringing in Nurkic into the fold, you have KD. Like, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's really the question is like, how are we going to scheme this up? Just like I mentioned earlier about the Milwaukee Bucks having a completely different style of play now,
Yes,
because
sir.
first of all, oh my God, Chris Middleton, it's going to be the same thing,
Yeah.
but a totally different energy towards it. Okay,
It's it.
15 points, that's fine. I
That's
like
fine.
as the number 3, that's fine. But people didn't understand True Holiday was the number 3, but he's really a number 2. But offensively, he's the 3. And that's
Yeah.
really what it was. Chris Middleton was supposed to be that number 2, where you see True Holiday, he's going to go off here and there, but really he's like, I say this all the time, and I would love this if it could potentially happen. True Holiday is a better version of a healthy Lonzo Ball. That's just
Yeah.
what it is. And I think he's a better scorer. He's a better facilitator. He's a better defender. But they're kind of in the same class of what they are and what they contribute when they're at their best.
Yeah.
But that didn't help against the Miami Heat because neither of them are scoring offensively to a
Gotcha.
high degree. Now Middleton's not healthy a lot of the time too, and that's a problem. But if, like you said, Dame's dropping 30 to 25, even if Dame has a drop off and it's like 20 to 25, that's still good enough for me to be the number 2. You could see some games where Dame's the number 1 and Giannis is the number 2. Like they can really.
You're gonna see quite a few games like that.
It's going, and people might hate me for this. I know you're a huge Curry guy, and I love you. I love you. I'm with Clay, so we the Splash Bros till the day we die. But this has the potential to remind me so much of what Curry and KD were, and people aren't
Yeah.
ready for that conversation. But I believe Giannis is in that realm of KD, just a little different as from a scoring perspective, but the force that he brings and what he brings when he steps on the court, you just can't teach that. You talked about yesterday with Prime and college football. You can't teach size. You can't
Yeah.
teach size. You can't teach strength. And Giannis has all of it. On top of Dame, who's the best shooter of all time?
It's Curry.
Who's top 3 with him?
It's Clay.
And Dame. And that's just
But you know what? I'm gonna say it's interesting you say that though, because a lot of people overlook
they overlook that.
what Dame brings to the table because he hasn't competed for a championship.
Mhm.
Like let's not forget. Remember the shot against Paul George, and he waved bye to the OKC to the Thunder. You know what I mean? Like Dame has been hitting big time shots his whole career, and we saw that displayed in the All-Star game before as well of Dame getting hot, and you know they call him Logo Lillard.
Right.
You know, I mean Dame has the same shooting potential as Steph Curry. It's just that you know, Steph has been able to perform these tricks and of his trade on a higher level, on a higher stage. And now you're saying, dang, you have now a chance to get to the NBA finals. You finally have a chance to get deep in the NBA playoffs. I mean, and what it means for Phoenix, on the other hand, as well.
Right.
Now Phoenix, they do lose a big man in Aiden, and now you get Nurkic, and Nurkic can play when he's healthy, as you mentioned. He's a guy that has huge health issues. But now they get a little defense on the wing, bringing in a Grayson Allen. And I know how you feel. You feel how I feel. You know, as a Chicago Bulls guy, you know we always gonna have beef with Grayson Allen. But as an analyst, I have to call it like I see it. And now you're bringing in a guy who can shoot the 3 ball, a guy who can, you know, he has, you know, one-on-one capability. I'm not saying he's a straight up one-on-one player, but sometimes he doesn't need you to help him score. And we're talking about a guy that's tenacious on defense. Not the best defender, but just a scrappy, mosquito irritant kind of guy. And you bring a little toughness to your team. Now Phoenix still has a long way to go, but I like what Milwaukee has really done. I think, with
Right.
that bringing in Dame Dolla, man, and we see how Dame feel. I mean, look at the tweet. Dame is always a rebel. The casuals won't be addressed, but the Trailblazers fans, the city of Portland that I love, truly will be, and they will be addressed truthfully.
Mhm.
Stay tuned. Excited for my next chapter at the Bucks. I mean, Dame sounds like he's ready.
Right. That right there was to allude to what we talked about earlier. Do you think he's going to show up at camp? Because he said,
Yeah.
I'm not showing up at camp unless I'm in
Yeah.
the Miami Heat jersey. That right there, excited from that last part is all I needed to read in the whole tweet. I don't care about the whole paragraph. That final part is Dame's locked in. Dame's ready to go. He's excited. Let's be real about the situation. That whole Miami thing. Obviously, I think he did want to go play with Pat Riley. He wants to go with
Yeah.
Spoelstra. He wants to see Jimmy and Bam, and that's cool. But in my opinion, I think Giannis and Middleton and Bobby, I'm gonna give some respect to Bobby. He's a part of
Hey,
that.
Bobby, I mean, he kind of lost a little respect for what Team USA did in the FIBA World
Man,
Games.
for
but,
sure,
but, but we know in the NBA, Bobby
right.
can play.
But
he's like the you have Tylenol, then you had a generic brand, you had KG, and then you got Bobby Portis. No offense.
No, 100% though. But I think the roster as a whole is 10 times better. Like Jimmy Butler is one of my favorite players in the league right now. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is light years ahead of where Jimmy Butler is, and that's not a conversation. That's not.
That's a fact, man.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. And Bam, I like Bam, but again, the inconsistencies of what Bam is and what Bam brings to the table is the same inconsistencies I have with Chris Middleton. So really, if I'm looking at it for what it is, Giannis Antetokounmpo or Jimmy Butler. Give me Giannis 10 times out of 10.
It's not a hard decision. I don't even have to say nothing.
100%. And for the last thing we talked about with the Suns too, somebody I do think they are going to miss, just because we're shooting the shit, like just talking about it. Torrey Craig, who's a part of the Bulls organization right now. I'm not just hyping him up because he's a Bulls guy, but I think another 3-and-D guy who played his role really well on the wing. I think he was great for what he did, what he brings. I thought we were going to have a conversation where you look at Kevin Durant and him both being at the wings, and I think that would have been a great move. And I think that would have been something that, you see what KD can bring. Now let's see what we can do with Torrey Craig. He's a great defensive player. I think this team lacks defense when you look at the Phoenix Suns right now, and I think that's going to be a problem where when you look at the Bucks, they lost their best defender, and arguably, in my opinion, this is Mike Hughes' opinion, just a kid from Chicago. I am not insider information. I am not valid whatsoever, but I look at True Holiday as a top 3 defender in this league. I truly do. I think he's great, like you said, in the perimeter, from the wing, from everywhere. He's everywhere at all times. And,
he's a great two-way player. And you know what? I'm glad you bring that up, brother, because I've read the reports, thanks to Woj and the great people over there at ESPN and of course NBA.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying that Portland is looking to stay young. They drafted young. They got a very young core. Let them go at Damian Lillard. They don't plan on keeping Drew.
I don't think so.
And they want to trade off Drew. So that's the question I posed to you, man.
Yeah, no, True doesn't plan on staying. I didn't mean to even try to cut you off there, but I just shut that down right now. Like, so here's what's crazy. True was on a podcast not too long ago, and he said following this season, he is going to debate retirement. Now, mind you, this is True Holiday on the Milwaukee Bucks. So how do you think True Holiday on the Portland Trail Blazers feels? I'll retire right now. This trade's not. Remember Gronk when he got traded to the Lions? I'm retired. You can't trade me. And he hangs up. Ha ha ha. Goes crazy. And it's like, bro, like what? Like Portland? Now, what I do think, where we talk about Jimmy, we talk about Miami and what's going on, that offer for Dame was awful. Tyler Hero and Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry and a couple picks, that's not good enough. What I will say is this. Tyler Hero, another young player. Kyle Lowry is an expiring deal. Got a couple first-round picks later on, maybe just one, probably just one, if anything, maybe an unprotected first. You get that for True Holiday. You get True Holiday, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. I think you got yourself a nice little squad right there, because that's my issue with Tyler Hero is Tyler Hero can't defend a chair. I mean, that's just really what it is. And he's inconsistent offensively. I like the offense of True Holiday a lot more consistently. I like what he brings to the table, still being that number 3 option offensively and being the number 1 defender on top of Bam's defense, on top of Jimmy's defense. I think if I'm looking at True Holiday right now at where he might want to go, I heard there's rumors going around that the 76ers are interested. I don't know if that, because I don't see, like for Damian Lillard, me and you talked about it during the offseason. For Damian Lillard, I could see them moving Maxey. I don't see them moving Maxey for True Holiday.
Oh,
I also don't see them moving James Harden because James Harden doesn't want to be in Portland either. So I don't really see this. I get the 76ers are interested, but so are the Chicago Bulls. But we're not giving Zach LaVine for
You
True
know
Holiday.
what? I was gonna mention about the Chicago Bulls. We're diehard Bulls fans. I'm always gonna ride for the city. It's just, I'm a Warriors fan, and that's just until Steph leave. Wherever Steph go, I go.
Yes,
But
sir.
at my heart, at my core, I'm Chicago bred. I'm Chicago fed.
Right.
And I'm always going to down that hill of the Chicago Bulls and unfortunately the damn Chicago Bears. But let's talk about it though. Let's look at a Lakers team who's in need of some services of a guy like Drew Holiday. Let's talk about it. I mean, that Drew Holiday is still an attractive offer to most teams that's competing for a championship. We're not talking about the Sacramentos or the Golden States who are already good at the point guard position. But hey, hell, you even look at somebody like Dallas because you can put Kyrie at the 2.
I got one better for you that I've really been picking my brain with. You look at Terrence Mann and you look at a couple of those guys in LA right now on the other side of town in the Clippers. You put Drew Holiday, Kawhi, and PG on the same team. And I think if they're healthy, you have a problem. And I haven't seen Kawhi in about 2 years, so I would assume he's healthy. I don't know, but I would hope so. But if you're going into this season with Drew Holiday at point, PG obviously having a phenomenal year last year, and Kawhi Leonard being relatively healthy, still one of the best defenders in this league as well. I think that's a big 3 you can really look at.
Yeah.
And the Bulls, listen, that's what we're missing. Like I said earlier, he is a better version of Lonzo Ball, but he does the same exact things Lonzo Ball does. I think the Bulls would be in really good graces if they could figure that out. Salary cap wise, it's just not going to work.
The only thing I worry about with the Bulls is, and maybe it's not something to worry about, but maybe something we can talk about. Maybe we bring back the bullshit one day, you know what I mean? And we keep this train going. Hey, guys, I don't know if y'all know, I just love collaborating with my guy, man. And then you see that guy over there, man. That's my guy. But, if the Bulls go to trade for Drew Holiday, you're not going to keep Zach LaVine and DeRozan together.
Right.
They're going to want one of those guys.
What are you giving up? What are you giving up?
Honestly, because the Bulls don't have a shot of winning the championship, not with Dame over there.
Right.
And now you bring your Dame to the East with Milwaukee. You still was gonna have problems with Philly. You still was gonna have problems with Boston, who now has Porzingis. You're gonna still have problems with Cleveland.
Right.
And you're gonna have, the East is not as weak as it used to be. So honestly, if you're gonna have to go with one or the other, I'll get rid of DeRozan. He's aging more than Zach LaVine, and I'll keep Zach LaVine and put him with Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday can score, and he's gonna bring a defensive intensity that your team has been missing. And he's a decent point guard. I'm not gonna say great, but he's a good point guard. I mean, he does the job, and wasn't he a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year? So Drew Holiday is definitely one of the better two-way players in the league. And I don't want to keep you here for a long time. I just want to do this special,
baby. We can do whatever.
This special episode. But you guys know, if you guys don't know, as I mentioned in the intro, if you're just tuning in, my guy Mike Hughes, he does something special for our women in sports. He's been covering the WNBA Chicago's team. The Chicago Sky has a podcast called Skytown. So I would be remiss if I had him on this show and I didn't ask him with the WNBA playoffs going on right now. Who wins the WNBA championship, Mike?
Man, bro. I mean, it's money. It's money. I mean, you can't listen. I've spent some time working with her, and I've spent some time building that relationship. And Kelsey Plum and them girls out there in Vegas, it's just different. Right now I see Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner fighting off the New York Liberty and Lady Mamba doing their thing out there.
Lady Mamba, I came up with that name. Let them know.
Rob came up with that.
Lady Mamba for Sabrina and Any Rescue. You know what I'm saying? That's my girl. Lady
100%.
Mamba, Mamba
100%.
mentality.
But they put together a great team, man. They put together 2 MVPs alongside Sabrina Ionescu, and Brianna Stewart, and obviously Jonquel Jones. They're absolutely phenomenal throughout the season. But that Aces team is just cracked. That Aces team has Candace Parker just hanging out on the bench, and they're still like not even missing a beat. Didn't even lose 10
That's
games.
right. They do got I forgot all about they got Candace.
She's been hurt. She's been hurt, but
I understand, but I forgot that, and because Asia Wilson is so dominant, I got a special thing for Asia Wilson.
Greatest player in
I don't mean
WNBA
anything.
history.
I'm a married man. I'm just saying, we all have our celebrity crushes.
You always know what's crazy. You want to know what's crazy?
Asia Wilson.
Mikal Bridges be shooting his shot at Asia Wilson in the DMs a lot.
I ain't mad at you, Mikal. Do your thing. I'm still disappointed in how y'all acted in the FIBA World Games, but do your thing.
100%. But I be seeing him. I be seeing him in the comments a lot. Oh, what's happening? But I be seeing him at the Liberty games too. So I don't know what he's on. But
hey, you know what? I want to give a shout out to Brianna Stewart for winning the MVP. Did she win? I think I read somewhere she won MVP. Is that correct?
I don't think they gave out the MVP.
Did they give out? What? Somebody just won something. Brianna Stewart just won something.
Man, I've been in.
I know Asia Wilson's Defensive Player of the Year, so shout out to her for that. And she just went crazy the last game. She had 30.
She did.
Asia Wilson,
Rob. I missed that. I'm so sorry. Brianna Stewart is your MVP.
I don't thank you. I'm about to say. I know I read that somewhere.
I don't know what I was doing last night to where I didn't see that. Honestly, I disagree with that. That's just me personally.
But, I get it, but I want to give a shout out because this is our first. Is this our first one?
Second.
Second or third? The first time. I think this is the first time a New York Liberty person won it. Yeah.
Yep. But
so shout out,
man. Free Alyssa Thomas, bro. That's all I'm saying. Free Alyssa Thomas. She is the female Jokic, and she does not get the love she deserves. But it's crazy, bro.
Hey, y'all, man. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. We had to talk about this trade. Heard around the world. I had to talk about it with my boy Mike Hughes again, y'all. If y'all don't know, check him out, man. He has Mike on the mic, and he has Skytown, man. I got nothing but love for this brother, and I know all my people. You guys finally getting to see the other side of what I was doing, and this is definitely one of the best parts of the other side. Meeting and having interactions with brothers like Mike Hughes, man. So I appreciate you for coming on my show, my brother. My first official guest under this new production quality.
Man, it's always a blast. Rob told me on the phone, he said, I need that professional Mike Hughes. But before I get out of here, I got to give you a little hustler in me. I got to give you some love. Check this out. Right here, your exclusive, Chicago's own. Anybody in the city, locally, hey, FedEx, UPS, whatever you need, I got it. You need your new Milwaukee Bucks signed Damian Lillard shoes. If you want them, tap in. Definitely tap in. I've been Rob, I've been talking to you about. I've been holding on to these joints for 4 years. They're signed.
Go put a case around them. Go put a case around. What you doing?
I'm selling these joints.
Put a case around them. The price just went up. Hey, what Fat Joe say? Today's price is not yesterday's price. You understand what I'm saying?
Stock up on the shoes. Stock up on the shoes. Last year was the lowest. This year I'm on cloud 9 today.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got an even interesting comment, man. My boy Frank Marshall say he thinks the Bucks got worse. No defense anymore. They were all traded. He must have missed the part when I was talking about the fact that Bobby Portis is still there. The fact that Pat McConnell is still there. Hey, the Bucks didn't get worse, my friend. They can get a little better. Don't get me wrong. But trust me, when you got some players like Dame, Dolla, and Giannis out there to cover up everything that you're doing, I think you're going to be all right, my brother. Hey, but this has been the show, man. I appreciate all the love, man. And once again, I appreciate my brother Mike Hughes popping on here for a special edition of Rob's 2 Cents. I gotta leave y'all with this comment, man. He said he can't punch people in the face no more. What y'all doing, man? Y'all trying to make me act up on here, man. Y'all know what I always tell y'all to do, man. Keep progressing in everything you're doing. Go fight for your dreams, baby, because you only live once. This has been your boy Rob. This has been a special guest host, my boy Mike. Hey, y'all already know the slogan, baby. And we go.
There's a bigger fight going on. There's a much bigger agenda than the streets. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that far in front of us, but we have to look past the illusions, look past the delusions of grandeur, and look at the bigger picture. We need to become better versions of ourselves each and every day. Fight for what you believe in. Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We just getting started, baby. You guys know the slogan now. Hope you all have a great evening. And we gone.